How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I was having problems with technology.
So how have you been coping with lockdown and over there? Because we don't hear a lot about how you're coping out there. We don't hear about it in this country as much.
Uh, it hasn't been very close, I should say, because our economy is very small. So
Whoops. I can hear you now. Yes, that's better.
okay, all right.
Mm.
Yes, as I was saying, we had the lockdown for about 3 months only. Then afterwards, the government had to open up the economy because our economy is already very small. So having a lockdown for a long time was going to affect everything. But in terms of public gatherings, there hasn't been much happening. Yeah.
Oh, right. It's very different here. We have too many public gatherings. So we're now having a sense that some of the virus is coming back. So we're looking to have to reconsider locking down areas, towns, cities. So yeah, I think the trouble is the UK like partying. They like parties.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's difficult. But how have you been coping with all your own practice? Have you been managing to keep your practice going?
Uh, yes, it hasn't been easy, but I think on the good side, it has given me time to reflect in the studio. You don't have a rush to finish your work because you're not going to show it anyway. So when it
Yes.
comes to production, the production levels have gone up. Maybe because you don't have anywhere to go and you're just forced to stay and work from home. Because I've been working from home.
Same. Yeah, same. It's frozen again.
Yeah.
Been producing a lot of work.
Not a lot, but I think it's been very intense work, not in large numbers, of course, but I've taken a bit more time on the work than producing in numbers. So the time spent on an art piece, for example, if it's a painting, so I used to rush myself because I want to finish and show it in an exhibition. But the past 6 months has been working, dragging, trying new techniques because I'm not rushing the work to take it anyway. Yes.
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 Yeah. No, I actually found it quite initially very scary, but eventually I started to think, well, this is my time with
Yeah.
me. I have to look at myself every day, so I need to do something about this work
Hmm.
issue. Um, I stopped going to the studio. I was just saying to Raphael, was my first day back at the studio was yesterday.
Okay.
Because I've been having to stay, I don't know what you call it out there, I've had to stay protected from a risk of the virus because I have a very elderly father.
Okay. So you're self-isolating.
Yes, so I have to see him as much as I can and make
Okay.
sure he's all right. So it's a decision I made as well to sort of make sure that I am protected. So I sort of locked myself away with my work, and it was
Okay.
weirdly quite a positive thing to do, really, for me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit like yourself, it's that feeling that you're not, there's no pressure, you can just be yourself, you can produce the work as you wish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It doesn't resolve. If you need to sort of tear it up and reinvent,
Mm-hmm.
it's fine and it's good. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but in terms of exhibitions that you had lined up, have you had a problem with this, or are you still managing to get to your exhibitions? Are they opening up again?
No, not really. I was supposed to have a show in July with another friend of mine, but we canceled it because that was supposed to appear in June. In June, the COVID levels were still high. The COVID cases here were still high, so we thought it wasn't the best time to have the exhibition. And also, it was the first time we're going to have an exhibition at that space. So the owner really wanted us to show, but we looked at the number of people going out to these events. A lot of people would rather stay home and not go out and mingle with others. So we felt maybe we should just cancel the exhibition. So that's how we canceled it. But the other programs, most of the exhibition have been canceled. We were supposed to exhibit in Namibia. Zambians, a number of Zambians were supposed to go and exhibit in Namibia for the first time. We canceled that as well because it was also in this same period. So there's been a number of exhibition canceled, and also we have art talks, which were also canceled. So far, only one space had an opening last month since February. Yeah.
Yes. No. Yeah. It's a strange one, isn't it? Because I've never imagined my life, my creative, artistic life, having no exhibitions. Every year there's something. So I had one in Bogota, one in Manchester, and one in Japan, and it's all gone. So it's a strange one to handle, really, because I like traveling and I like meeting other artists, and it just seems
Every artist loves to travel, I should think.
yes. And I
Yeah.
don't know how you feel, but I feel the world is, my world. I'm really fighting.
It's very small. Yeah.
It's starting to feel like it's getting small, and I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
And
feel.
it's been also emotionally draining on my part, where there was a point where I couldn't even produce work, despite being in the space where I'm not rushing to go anywhere. But because of all the news that you're getting, that people are dying this side, this is what is happening, the fear of just stepping outside your own house, at some point I had that mental distress, and I don't know how it happened. Thankfully, it just disappeared with time, but it was very distressing. And also just not being able to mingle with your fellow artists. That was, I think, the worst part for me, because I'm one of those who like to move around Lusaka, see what this one is doing. And yeah, so the lockdown had that negative mental effect on me. Yeah, more especially than the physical aspect of it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how your situation is, but I live on my own. So for me, there was one thing being on my own, and there was another thing being on my own in isolation. They're very, very different. And when people say, yes, but you're used to being on your own, it must be fine.
It's different.
It sort of feels strange that it's that I'm not actually sort of being able to pop out and meet people or see people. It's very different. Yes. So, but it's I mean, how does it look in terms of the immediate future? Is there sort of signs that it's returning, or is it okay in terms of it's calmed down and everybody's got a handle on the problem?
It's very difficult to answer that question from the Zambian perspective, because people haven't been adhering to the guidelines very much. So instead of as a country being able to contain the virus, we've had a problem of the virus is now increasing because people are not wearing masks, people have started going to parties, people are meeting anyhow. So I don't know how we move on from now, of course, the economy has started opening, but the fear of being out there is still so much in some people because of the lack of adherences to these guidelines which have been set up. So
Yes.
yeah, it's very tricky in our
I mean,
part
do
of world. Yeah.
you have a studio as well as working at home?
I work from my kitchen.
Oh, do you?
So I I used to have a studio space some time back, somewhere out of my home, but I'm a mother now. I'm a nursing mother, so it's been a very big challenge for me to move from one space to another. So I would rather work from the kitchen, the sitting room.
Mhm.
You can see behind that's one of my works already. So I hang some of my works in the house, and I work around the house.
So
It's yeah,
you have is it a son or a daughter?
a daughter. She's 1 year, 5 months. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So how do you manage to do any work?
Uh, I don't know sometimes. I don't know. But it's my mother has been helping me so much together with my partner. My husband helps with taking care of the child. So
Oh, that's good.
uh my support system is very strong. So that's how I've been managing. But it's not easy. It hasn't been easy, no.
No. But in terms of sort of production, do you find, because I have found that the whole idea of doing my own work within lockdown, it actually kept
Mm-hmm.
my sanity. It sort of filled a huge void of where people were not communicating, and if we did communicate, all we did was talk about COVID-19, talked
Mm-hmm.
about death, talked about some very obviously real things, but they're very negative as well, because I've found that the emotion, like you, the emotional impact of COVID-19 has been quite severe.
Yeah, yeah.
Having said that, it's completely taken over my work. It's sort of in it. It's there.
Mm-hmm.
It's yeah, it's taking over all our lives in quite an incredible way, really, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Mm. But I don't know who knows when this will start becoming, when we start
No more.
accepting it as a normal. At the moment, I don't.
Here they're calling it the new normal, actually.
Yeah, the same here, new normal. But I don't think
Yeah.
it's not a healthy new normal. I'm not ready to be. This is not good for me. This new normal. No, no. I
I
don't.
can see Rafa is already masking up.
Yeah, we have to mask up. And when the university that I work in, we're in the middle at the moment. I'm surrounded by paperwork here because we're
Mm-hmm.
also establishing how students can come back to be in that environment and be safe.
Yeah.
And it's an incredibly difficult thing to do, to create the logistics of allowing
Yeah.
one group in without another group and making sure that they don't mingle, and yet most teaching is online, and we've, as a fine art
Yeah.
course, we don't want that to be online. We want the students to experience what it's like to be practitioners. They're in the
Yeah.
studio, in the workshops,
Mm-hmm.
working outside and sort of creating works, their own work outside in the open air, but
Mm-hmm.
also being part of a community. And I find that I can't imagine what I would feel like if I didn't have the teaching to sort of drive me forward in terms
Mm-hmm.
of having that sort of interaction with other people. Because most people, although people are walking around or driving in their cars, we do not socialize like we used to. We,
Mm-hmm.
I sit in somebody's back garden, but the weather's changing. We're getting rain,
Yes. Yeah.
so we can't sit
Mm-hmm.
outside. It's very different.
Mm-hmm.
It's very
Yeah.
different. At the same time, as I say to the students, whatever
Yeah.
challenges come our way as artists, we grasp them, we we nurture it, work with it, and
Mhm.
turn it upside down, inside out, and reinvent it.
Yeah, yeah.
Find a
I
way.
think that's what has kept me going. Where I've looked at, I had to ask myself, in this problem, what can I learn and what ways can I try which I haven't tried in the past? And I think so far I'm finding answers to some of the problems which I had before COVID-19 even came back, because it has been that moment of reflection and also finding ways in which you can protect yourself, protect your family, and also protect the community. You know, ways of, as a nursing mother, every time I'm stepping out, I feel I'm exposing my child, even if the child is been left back home. So how do I help the society? How do I help my family? So this is something which I never tried. Now I've been trying to show my works online. So maybe that's a positive of COVID-19. I've been able to go beyond my comfort zone of showing my work in physical spaces, and now I'm able to show my work online. Yeah.
Do you feel that when you show work online, that it's in a way leaving, there's a sort of a layer of the sort of touching material, the whole notion of surface is taken away from that image? I mean, that's my concern. I feel regardless of what artists do, that physical sort of look and touch that's my
Yeah,
concern.
it's different. Yeah, definitely, it's different. I always say that the eyes also have got the sense of touch, like our hands. You know, when you see something, it's different from when you see it in a picture or on the phone or on the laptop. So it's, I don't know how others look at it, but there is that difference in seeing something virtually and seeing something in the actual physical or material. So yeah, it is something which is I don't know, the new normal to start embracing, seeing other people's works and also showing my works to other people. And you know, the funny thing is now people are asking me, can you describe how your work feels like, the texture? And these are some of the things that I didn't really pay attention to. So how does your work feel like? So now I need to explain that, oh, I'm using a palette knife and my work has a lot of texture. Whatever you are seeing, it's because of the layers. I put too many layers if it's a painting. So it's a new time also to explore how you approach the material. Yeah, so yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. Yeah.
It is. No, it's, I mean, I have a great passion for influencing sort of students to recognizing that there's all layers of activity that you can create work. So if you can't do a painting one day, there's other means that you can do something else. So I'm just working out a timetable for the students, and we've suddenly come up with some really exciting ideas. So I'm sort of on many ways looking forward to getting back into it so that we can explore, sending them off into their, wherever they're living, sending them off into the areas they live, and bringing back new ideas, and then bringing them into the studios, into the university. So yes, I'm not adverse to the challenge at all, but sometimes I'd like to see the end of this challenge of COVID-19. I'd like to see an end.
Yeah.
I think that's my worry at the moment.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely we are hoping for that moment when this whole thing will end. And you know, it has taken me back to the funny thing with my work. I go back to drawing. At some point, I completely stayed away from the pencil and watercolors, and maybe because of my mental position at some point because of the virus, I went back to the basics, where paper and charcoal became my new normal way of expressing myself. And one funny thing, someone saw my work and said, is that your work? I saw your work, and it was signed Mulenga J Mulenga, and I was wondering, is it you or someone is trying to be you? Because this is totally someone else. I just said, no, that's me in the COVID-19 era. So maybe things have gone those lines, and yeah, hopefully we get back to, being in the actual physical spaces, because I think that's the importance of visual arts. Despite the technology, the presence of, being the presence in the moment of seeing the actual piece
Yes,
is important as well.
it is. It
Yeah.
is. Do you hope that your daughter will follow you and become an artist?
No.
And why is that?
Oh my God, no. I hope not. Of course, I don't have the choice to say, don't become this. Now that my mother was able to, to allow me to fly and exist as an artist, I would feel guilty if I said no, don't become an artist. But I don't think it's the easiest, or one of those careers which you just enter into. I hope she does something else. But yeah, if she decides to become an artist one day, it will be a very bitter pill for me to swallow.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
so I'm curious about this, because I was hoping my son would become an artist. And he turned into a rugby player. And I just think, how? I don't know how that happened. He now teaches rugby. So you can never tell.
Okay. No, maybe why I wouldn't like it to be like that. Here art is not respected, as much as other careers are. You to be even recognize that you're doing something, it has to take a lot of work, because people think you're just a joke and you don't want to work, you just want to be, painting around, making sculpture, whatever you're doing, you're doing fun, waste of thinking something. So if our society was very susceptible to, they accepted art as one of those careers, maybe it was going to be easy. Because up to now, at our topmost university, we still don't have an art department since it was opened. And so you see it from that level, and people don't respect artists. It's very hard for you to survive as an artist. So as a mother, I don't think I would really encourage my child to venture into arts. Of course, it's something which is fulfilling. I feel fulfilled despite having financial challenges sometimes from lack of sales and stuff like that. But it is society-wise, it's something very, very difficult that one has to go through. More especially if you're a woman. Waste of.
You're speaking the same language as me, because it's the same here. We don't have. Is she gone? Ad, you're back. You're back. Can you hear me? You're on mute.
I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, we have the same problem here, and we've become more and more anti the arts and culture since COVID. It's been an excuse for the government to make changes in the attitude, and the attitude generally with a conservative government is not totally supportive of the arts. It's not as good as it could be, but we do, and as a woman, it's, as you say, it's a lot harder. But at the same time, I feel that it makes me more determined to be bolshy. What's the other word? Determined. It makes me more determined to say something and to make it a voice, and a strong voice, because I don't feel. I think generally the public's voices are being taken away from ourselves, from us, by the governments that we have in our countries. But I think added to that, as a woman, it's another level of silence. So I think we need to start shouting more. Keep shouting.
Yeah. I'm one of those loud.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Have you gone? Yeah, you're back.
yes, sorry, it had cut. So I was saying, since time immemorial. So this is one of the funny things, a funny conversation that has been happening since, is it June, July? So the government, for the first time, announced that they were going to be able to give artists loans. So these are loans, not grants. During this, I think they're starting, is it on the 15th of September? I'm not so sure when exactly. So because some artists felt they were not getting any support during the COVID 19 lockdown period, that was in March, April, and May, they went to protest in the bush. So the protest wasn't in an open space. And afterwards, the government announced that they were going to give artists loans. So you ask yourself, this is a time where the economy is doing very bad. Actually, our kwacha on Monday just dropped to the 20 kwacha for $1, which is a lot, far much more. And you are expected as an artist now to get a loan from government and go and create work. I don't know whether it's painting, music, whatever you're doing, whatever art discipline, and you're supposed to pay back that loan. So already the way the government looks at the art industry, you can tell that they don't really understand how it works, and also how they can work together with artists when they're having a crisis. So there's been a lot of what can I say? It's a very uncomfortable space to be an artist right now in my country, because you don't know where to cry to. You can't get the help that you need from the government, because for them they're saying, okay, yes, you say it's an industry, so if it's an industry, then you are going to be able to pay back the loans, just like when you give the farmers, when you give the banks, and the banks loans the money to the people in business, you can do the same. So it's a very big challenge. It is. I don't know how loud artists can be to say this is the way arts should run, and this is the way you can help artists in this, especially during this crisis. But yeah, that's a position that where we're at. Yeah.
It is. I mean, I don't think we're in such a dire situation as you might be over there, but we have to fight to be understood by those who've got the money and those who've got the purse strings. It's like with education as well. It's very much about, well, if you go and do this course, and a lot of children, when they're being brought up in this country, there is that question of, well, why do you want to do something that doesn't bring you a salary? And why do you want to do something that has no future? And I think, on a positive note, what COVID might be doing and might help with the arts is that it will become a social support for many in terms of the arts. I think many people who'll be unemployed will be looking to the arts for a sort of psychological outlet or an emotional outlet, whichever way you like to look at it. Not necessarily ending up as artists, but there'll be an outlet for their frustrations, their fears, and have a bit of reinvent themselves a little bit. It frustrates me when I look at and listen to a lot of people. My father, for one, he's 87, and he's been an engineer and very much based around sciences. And now he lives on his own, and he's creating the most stunning garden. And he said, I don't know where this creativity comes from. I said, this is a frustrating thing, because it's there, and it's now you're 87, and you're now finding that creative core in you, which is amazing. because he's done some incredible things. But it is that whole belief system that I find is it upsets me greatly when I'm having to fight members of parliament and sort of the local government about the arts. It's difficult sometimes. Yeah. But I do think COVID-19 could be a turning point for the arts. Sorry, somebody's texting me a lot. Sorry. It's all work related. So yes, so I do feel that we could possibly use COVID as a spinning it on its tail. That's my feeling about it. We need to make our banners and start ranting a little bit more as a globally. I don't think it's not going to happen for you on your own or for us on our own. I think it's a global demand.
Effort. Yeah.
That's
no, I agree with you. I think this is an eye opener actually, because from the positive point of view, the same loans that the government has been able to open up for artists to access, it's because artists went and protested during the COVID period that they were even able to listen. So somehow COVID has made it possible for the government to sit down and say, oh, okay, so there is these people that need help. Even if the help is not in the best help ever, but at least today we'll say artists will be able to access a loan from the government of Zambia. So that's a positive out of the negative of COVID-19. And moving forward, I feel maybe after this, they will be able to listen more to the artists. Fortunately, I think they listen more to the musicians because maybe they're out there than these other art fields, the writers, the visual artists who are more on the quiet side, but the musicians have been very, very vocal, and it has opened up so many doors also for others, quieter art disciplines to come out and start speaking. So despite the negative aspect of COVID, the positive is that at least the government has started listening.
I agree.
And we should take advantage of this and make them listen more. And I'm sure in future we can get better feedbacks and results for the arts sector. Yeah.
I am in agreement with you, and I feel as well that there's a chance, like through teaching in the education system, I feel that I can at least make those changes, waves for young people as they're coming up through art school, and I'm just going to sit on the doorstep and have a protest if they decide to shut down all the art schools or something like that. So no, I'll be definitely at the beginning of a revolution. I'll be at the start of it, very happily. So we've all got changes ahead, and I think they could also be very positive for us.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
So where exactly are you at this very minute? You're in your home. Your home is in.
Yeah, I'm in my home. I'm in my sitting room. Yes. I think I have my television there. Yeah.
I'm in my sitting room.
I spend 95% of my time home.
Yes. But where is home? Home is, where is home exactly?
In Charleston, in Lusaka.
Right, yes.
Yeah, if you've been to Lusaka, on your way to the airport, somewhere there. Yeah.
Okay. The airport that you can't use. Is that very many flights leaving?
No, not too many. So actually from my home, you can hear the planes take off and land. So we're able to tell if it's people are coming in a lot or not. So far it's been quiet. So not so many flights have been coming in. But slowly they've started opening up. I think Emirates landed on Monday for the first time after the COVID-19 cases. Yeah,
wow.
because a lot of Zambians love to go to Dubai to get their things and come back to sell.
Yes.
So we have a lot of flights from Emirates. Yeah.
There's quite a number of countries that if anybody takes a holiday now, when they come back to Wales and to England, they have to have a 2-week quarantine. And I'm very glad because, and that's in a way the interesting part of the future. We don't quite know what this all means, but it's a global journey. It's not just
Yeah.
us individuals, which is reassuring on one level as well. Yeah.
So when you come here, you'll be also put in self-quarantine for is it 2 weeks? Yes.
2 weeks.
Then they'll release you after 2 weeks. Yeah.
Then I
So
have
if you're traveling, you have to have 4 weeks
yes.
for not doing anything. You go somewhere, they keep you for 2 weeks, then you do what you want to do. You go back home, they keep you for 2 weeks.
Yes.
So it's very crazy, yeah.
Yes. So that means you have to have at least 8 weeks holiday to cover these different
Yes.
weeks.
Yes.
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 Yes. It's
Yeah.
but no, I have an incredibly fond
But
memory.
again, I don't think I would look forward to I would have phobia to get on a plane right now.
Oh no. Oh,
Already I hate flying. Worse off with this situation because I would be thinking, oh my God, I'm sitting on COVID, I'm touching. So
no.
yeah, I don't think would be the best time to travel for me. Yeah.
No, I feel the same. I feel I was so excited about going to Bogota and
Mhm.
Japan, but I just think, well, actually, if they phoned me up now and said, "Would you like to come over?" I don't know about this. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd have to
Yeah.
be completely zipped up and covered completely. I'd be so worried. Yeah, so worried.
I meant to ask, have you been having exhibitions in Wales? How is the situation there?
Um, it's I think we're gradually doing little small pockets of exhibitions. Started opening in the last week or two.
Okay.
So again, it's social distancing, so everybody has to make sure they come in with masks on and keep separate from each other. I know that in where my studio is, there's a gallery that's just opened up this month. And I think it's just a matter of testing the water really and hoping that I'm sure in galleries it will be a different sort of situation because not many people go to galleries in this country, not as many as I'd like to see. So I would imagine that footfall into galleries would be probably less of a problem. So I think it would be all right. Yeah. I just want galleries all around the world to be open so that we can start sort of transporting work all around different places. That would be good. Even if we can't be there ourselves, it would be very good if there could be
Okay.
transportation for artists. So yeah. So that's where I am anyway.
Sorry, my line had cut. Someone was trying to call me, but I'm back now.
Okay. Are you on your phone or laptop?
Yes, I'm on my phone. My laptop crashed, so I was having problems trying to connect. So now I had to use my phone. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but it's been lovely idea of having this conversation. When Raphael asked me, I just thought, okay, I'm intrigued by this. Yes, and when I was spending a lot of time in Zimbabwe, I do miss Zimbabwe, and I miss that interaction. And in fact, one of my fondest memories is coming over to Harare. I think it was Harare, no, Bulawayo, and it was a big birthday for me. And I flew over on my birthday, and when I got there, everybody had got together and made me a cake. And it was the most wonderful. It was just lovely. I've got the fondest memories of it. It's been really lovely. So yeah,
Zimbabwe is a beautiful space.
it is.
My second home. Yeah.
Is it?
Yes.
I can imagine. Yeah, I
Yeah.
missed it. Yeah.
I know a number of artists in Zimbabwe, and some of them were very close. Like Nancy Muteki, she's like a sister now.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
lovely. Yeah,
yeah. And Messi Moyo. Yeah,
that's very nice indeed. No,
yeah.
in fact, I came across a couple of Welsh people when I was in Zimbabwe, and they'd been living there for many, many years. But
Okay.
unfortunately for them, because they're very sad about it, but they're now back in Wales living. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, so yeah, they miss it very much. So
So, do you have what are your next plans after the COVID?
after the COVID, well, in my mind, I'm trying to imagine that COVID will be with us for a while. I'm not quite sure how long. So in my head, I'm thinking, as long as I wear a mask every time I leave this building, my home, then I'm going to
Okay.
make sure that all those exhibitions that I had cancelled, I'm going to try and get them to
Mhm.
happen again. Yeah, that's my plan. Yeah.
Wow,
And yourself?
that's a good positive plan.
It is. Yeah. And
Yeah.
yourself?
Uh it's almost the same, but I think I've been thinking I've never had a solo exhibition, so maybe after this period I'll be able to sit down in the next 3 months to decide whether I'm ready to have a solo exhibition or not. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. No, it sounds good. Anyway,
yeah.
don't stop shouting either. Keep shouting for what you want. Just in case your daughter
Yeah.
decides to go into the arts, you need to have it all prepared for her. It needs to be all ready and
I
waiting.
have to prepare the grounds for her.
You need to
Yeah.
prepare it for.
No, I'll continue trying to be the voice for the voiceless. It's not easy from this part of the world. Sometimes, even when you want to be the voice for the voiceless, you're scared for your own safety because sometimes people take it as if, yeah, if you anything you're saying against the government, then you belong to the opposition political party, so it becomes security issues. So of course, with some cautious, I will continue fighting for the right um, position of artists, but it's not easy. It's
No,
not easy to be the negative voice. Yeah, more worse off because we're having elections next year. So from let me just say since January into next year September, everything is on fire. Everyone is trying to get their piece of cake because come next year we have elections, and so it's not going to be easy. The period that we're entering into as a country, despite the COVID-19 crisis, it's also the political situation that we have prior elections. Things are very tense. Yeah.
I can imagine as well. Yes. I've just seen a question from Raphael as how has been all your experience in Zimbabwe? My experience in Zimbabwe have been absolutely amazingly wonderful. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I can remember coming off the plane the very first time and I felt at home. I felt
Mm-hmm.
I felt so at home. I'd been brought up in the Middle East as a child. So for me
Okay.
to arrive in Zimbabwe was just quite an amazing experience. And one of the things that I've always wanted is to try and keep that relationship between Wales and Zimbabwe and
Mm-hmm.
all the sort of artists that I know within Africa who we just feel there's a sort of link between Wales and your
Mm-hmm.
countries. So I think it's important to
Mm-hmm.
keep those links going and keep things happening. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd love to, given COVID being, less of a problem, I would love to sort
Mm-hmm.
of create a sort of residency for maybe a couple of students from the art school
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
going. So there's an exchange that could occur through the education there. through the galleries. So yeah, so I think
Fantastic.
there's lots of room for new adventures. So I'm always up for an adventure, as Raphael knows. I'm always up for one.
All right.
So anyway, it's been really lovely chatting to you. I don't know how much, I think have we gone over our time completely? I'm not sure. How has been, you've been asked a question, Mulenga?
How has been your experience? Okay, I saw it now. I'm sorry, people they're trying to call me. Okay, in Zimbabwe. So in Zimbabwe, my first experience was in Bulawayo. I went to participate in is it Fit in the City with Fisani and the group. So from that time, I think my first time to come to the gallery was on a Sunday, and I sent Rafa a message. I came to the gallery and I didn't find anyone. Anyway, but from that time, I've had a very, very good relationship with a lot of Zimbabwean artists, both from Harare and also the artists from Bulawayo. So I've been to Bulawayo twice, and Harare, I think, for the main art program once. And I've met a lot of Zimbabwean artists back here in Zambia. Yeah, so the relationship has grown from that. So my exhibitions, and also I had an exhibition there during the ICA, and it was amazing to meet upcoming artists like me, and also it was also a very good experience for me to meet other art practitioners, gallery owners, curators, and lecturers, all those people who are playing a very important role in African arts, but in different departments. So it's been a very, very, how can I say it? Zimbabwe has helped my art career grow to a very certain level. As at where I am today, I can't go without mentioning the skills that I've gotten from Zimbabwe, because even my first experience, my first exhibition, my first performance actually was in Bulawayo in 2014. So I've been groomed by Zimbabwe in those lines, both Harare and Bulawayo. Yeah.
And how was your experience at Gasworks?
Gasworks was amazing, and also I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but I only found out that I was nominated by Raphael when I was that side to apply for the residency program. So it was really humbling for me, because in the first place, you don't know that people are actually looking at what you're doing, and you're thinking, okay, I'm just an artist and no one is paying attention to what I'm doing. So I should say my going to Gasworks is thanks to Raphael for nominating me. Raphael, thank you. And my experience was amazing. Of course, the London art scene is very different from the Zambian art scene. We are very small. It's like a drop in the ocean when you compare the two art scenes. But it was a learning experience for me. And the whole program, the way it's been designed, it's in such a way that you are allowed to explore and find yourself. So they don't give you the outlines, like this is what we want you to do. We want you to do A, B, C, D, and what. They allow you to go out there and find yourself. So at Gasworks, I did find myself. I did a lot of research. I did a lot of sightseeing, and also I met a lot of interesting art practitioners and also people who are just art lovers. So it was amazing.
And did you find that you had sort of created and developed some really close friendships with other artists that you're still in contact with them now?
Yeah, the artists were having the residents at the same time with Wastu in contact. We have a WhatsApp group. We
Okay.
talk. We chat if someone wants some ideas over something, because we were coming from different parts of the world. Someone was coming from India, I from Zambia, the other one from Brazil, and the other one was coming from Bolivia. So we have a very strong connection, especially with Andres, the artist from Bolivia. So he does some work to do with human hair. And I've also been doing a number of works on women and the human hair and how our culture just looks at hair in general. And he does the same. So we've been building something together, maybe one day to come out to be something else, but we've been exchanging a lot of notes. And the interesting part is, you know, sometimes we feel our cultures are very different when we're looking from the outside, from the window. You look at someone and say, oh, they're from Bolivia, I'm from here. You feel we're two different people from two different planets. But there's so much similarities in how people have these cultural beliefs and norms. So it's been interesting working with him in those lines.
Yeah. Good. I think that's great to hear. That's really good. I just seen another question. How did the exhibition in Zimbabwe change my practice, or did it? It didn't so much change my practice, but it actually encouraged me. I've always seen, because I was brought up in the Middle East, I always saw a much bigger world beyond Britain. And I found it very difficult to see it as being a very small part of it. So I actually did find, being out in Zimbabwe, being amongst sort of other artists from Zimbabwe, conversations, interactions, all encouraged me to value and to understand the importance of the direction that my work was going at the time. And also as well, there's this huge thing about sort of the Black Lives Matters. All that was always in my head, because obviously being a woman, I found I've always been fighting for women. I've always been fighting for sort of those that are being put down all the time. And I just find myself always constantly striving to make voices being heard. So to be out in Zimbabwe with my practice made me feel very humble, because I felt it made me realize how it was important to me, but it was clearly important to people that were looking at it in Zimbabwe. So I was very honored to be there. So yes, very. And there was one incident I can remember, because the cost of all the big paintings from Artist Mundi, the cost of it would have, I think it was something like £25,000. And the work was too expensive. So I can remember asking the gallery for a tin of paint, and they allowed me to paint directly on the walls, which galleries over here, no, that would be you can do it now, but at the time when I was in Zimbabwe, they would never have allowed it. So again, it was that less precious of making, which I think we're hung up about these things over here. And it was just so refreshing being able to just paint on the walls and just allow that to happen. So that was excellent. Okay, I'll let you answer the next one first.
Okay. Yeah, so my to the young people, I feel, you know, you need to believe in yourself. I think that's the most important thing, to believe in yourself before the next person believes in what you are trying to do or what you're selling, whether it's your product or your skills. You need to believe in yourself, and also find out what is happening, find out what other people are doing, because you can't work in isolation. I no longer believe in the term which some artists, even some of the senior artists use, like the self-taught. I think self-taught was there before there was this technology. Now you just have to go there, research, and acknowledge that you're looking at someone, acknowledge that you're learning from somewhere, and also have that originality. I think that's what is important. Be authentic and be real to yourself. And yeah, the world is going to appreciate you and listen to you. Yeah.
I hope you tell your daughter that one.
Yes, when she starts talking, the only thing she's saying is thank you now. Yeah.
No,
I think that's what I got from my father. My father never lived to see the artist who I am today. My mom was very skeptical for me to become an artist because she was a single mom. My father died earlier on in life. So when I decided I was going to be an artist, it was a very, very sad thing for her because she was hoping I thought I was going to go into accounts and make money, or do these white collar jobs and this big person in society. But because of the small words that my father taught me when I was very young, that believe in yourself, go for what you want, I am that person today. Yeah. So it's important to allow children to dream, and it starts at the young age. If you give them that impression that it's impossible to do certain things, then they'll take it's impossible. But if you say you can be whatever you want to be, then a child will grow up knowing and believing that they can be whatever they want to be despite the situation.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't know whether it's the same where you are, but we have a lot of quite serious mental health problems amongst the young at the moment, and well, there has been for quite some time. And one of the things I always say to the students when they arrive at the university is, while you're here and living in a safe environment with all the artists who are working here, you must feel confident in being able to do what you want to do. And you gain that confidence. So when you go out into the big wide world, you can accept change and you can work with change. Because I really think that the arts, even if you don't become a practitioner, for many of these young students, they learn how to accept change and challenges and take it differently to what the average person is taught. So I'm all for, regardless of whether people want to be a practitioner, if they're interested in the arts and they want to go through this journey, it gives them the opportunity to like you say, become their own person and believe that they can make changes for their own new generations ahead of them. So, okay.
Yeah.
It's been really lovely meeting you. It really has.
Same.
Yes, and
it's been a pleasure talking to you, Sue.
Yeah,
and meeting you.
Are you on Instagram?
One day I meet you physically, not like this.
Yeah.
So that I have the actual feeling of meeting you in person.
My reaction if I was here now would be to just come over and go, lovely to meet you, and give you a big hug. Yeah. But you can't do that now. So it's a virtual hug.
No, the smile is enough. The smile is enough. It sends the love and the care. Yeah. Anyway. And I feel that's what we need to give each other as human beings, as artists as well. Just the love in these hard times. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. And I'll look out for you on Instagram.
Yeah. I'm there something. Yeah.
All right. So it's do we end? We've been talking for over an hour.
Oh, it's past an hour already.
Yeah, we were told only half an hour.
I haven't been looking at my time.
I think I don't know if Raphael wants us to go, but I think we better call it.